Good morning. I'm George. Welcome to my morning bird walk here at the Great Camp Sagamore. Well, actually, it's been called Birds, Bugs, and Bunnies. Starts off with looking for birds, but of course, there's so many things in nature to discover and explore. And whatever we find, we find. Right away, I can hear a blue-headed vireo. Of course, as soon as you start to talk about them, they become quiet. There are chimney swifts flying around up high and some tree swallows. Should make notes of these birds that we have, so we have a total count. There's the blue-headed vireo. Off over in here let me give you a view around camp in case there is a bunny. There is a snowshoe hare right over there. Let's see if I can get it into focus in here. Snowshoe hare is all brown at this time of year. It will turn white in the fall as an adaptation for the winter time. They also grow large furry feet that work as snowshoes, hence the name snowshoe hare, so they can run on top of the snow. So let me give you, let me go back to a panoramic view here. So the main camp itself is down over there. I start the bird walk, nature walk here up in the upper parking lot. The accommodations and dining facilities and things are down in that direction. Over in here we'll walk towards the the caretakers and utilitarian buildings, which would have been the blacksmith shop and hen house, chicken coop, and other things that were maintained or for the staff that were here in the time of the Durant and ultimately the Vanderbilts. There is a third quarter moon right there. We're in the third quarter of the lunar cycle. We hear a crow. I can hear some chipmunks chipping off in the distance. So, oops, that's me. I have to switch back over. You hit the screen and all of a sudden you have different things showing up. So far, we have the blue-headed vireo, red-eyed vireo, chimney swift, tree swallows here. Let's walk down the trail a little bit, although before we even get to going there, again, there's so many things to investigate and discover here. Here's some old deer tracks, a little washed out from the rain from yesterday's rain, and some very freshly worked on anthills. All kinds of living things to explore here at the Great Camp Sagamore. So as we walk on down, I'm going to see if I can spot that vireo. I see some movement up in the trees. Unfortunately, I can't get a good shot for you with the video on my camera here. But if I head on up over this way to just check. Yep, there's a blue-headed vireo up in the trees. See one flitting about. They have a nice white eye ring and a sort of a bluish head. There were chipping sparrows, what I call the sewing machine bird, singing before, sort of a g-g-g-g-g-g-g-g-g. We do have a variety of warblers that'll be in here. Never know what we might find. I see some more movement up in the top there. Let's see if that's something different. And yep, still another blue-headed vireo. The red-eyed vireo has a song that is somewhat more insistent and longer than this blue-headed vireo, as if the red-eyed vireo is going, see me, here I am, high up in the tree. See me, here I am, high up in the tree. We have a chipping sparrow over in here. It's a small bird, but close enough, maybe I can get it onto the screen. He's up over on the edge of the branches. They like to nest in the evergreens. So he's flying off over to there. Let's see. Can I even hope for a chance to spot him here? He's in there someplace. Maybe with you guys you can spot him. Uh-oh, not me. The chipping sparrow up over in here. And I don't know where he went to. But they often nest in the spruce trees that line the parking lot. Those spruce trees, those evergreen trees off over in the distance over there. They'll often nest in there. You can hear the chipmunks chipping away. Oh, there's this blue. I'm going to try this guy. So we got two of them. They're very active up in here. Let's see if we can get that blue. Yeah, get the focus in here. There he is singing. That's a blue-headed vireo right there. Singing away. Out in the open, oftentimes we can't spot them because they're up into the greeneries. They're feeding on the insect life that feeds on the green leaves. The green leaves make food, of course. You know, that's called photosynthesis. Oop, there goes the blue-headed vireo. Okay, let's work our way down. So we have hit bugs, birds, bugs, and bunnies. So no matter what we discover, definitely got the 3 Bs for this morning. One of the favorite things as we walk along here when I'm working with the intergenerational programs, the grandparents and grandchildren, is the roadway here has been surfaced with crushed stone, which happens to be from the garnet mining operations. So as we come down here, there's small bits of oh, my geology is somewhat rusty. Some types of granitic rock. I might be wrong with the identification of that, but definitely has garnet in it. And here's one piece right here. The grandparents love, or the grandchildren love finding that. So right there, you can see little pits of garnet, which is the New York State mineral. And matter of fact, the garnet mines here in New York are well known for industrial garnet. Garnet that's used for, particularly for abrasives, because it's a very hard material. Not quite the quality, I guess, for jewelry. Although you can get some big chunks of garnet in some of these garnet mines that are here in the Adirondacks. So here we come into the barns and other buildings that were for the caretakers and support staff for the Great Camp. Of course, the Vanderbilts and all the famous people that would come up here to stay for short periods of time. They wouldn't even be here all year round. They had support staff people to maintain the buildings, cook the food, do the housekeeping, all that kind of stuff. And basically, as a whole separate community or village. Oop, we have a bird. Oh, up on top of the barn, it was a bluebird. The New York State bird. Some years, I find lots of bluebirds. In other years, none. Matter of fact, last year I don't think there was any bluebirds. I'm listening for the chipping sparrow. Hear that little sewing machine bird? That's the chipping sparrow. basically an LBJ, a little brown jobber, many sparrows, but the chipping sparrow has a reddish cap. Oh, nice white eye ring and reddish cap. There he is. He's singing at the top of that hemlock tree. Let's see if I can get him into the focus in here. He's on that left hand, not the tallest branch, but that left hand branch is a chipping sparrow singing. What's he saying when he's singing his song? He's basically saying, check me out, I'm so good looking. He's advertising for females and telling other males this is his territory. Where the nest for them would be is probably could be right in that tree itself, or this white pine that's over in here. So I gave you a little bit of the history. It's not my forte in here. There is the schoolhouse right there that was actually moved at one point in time to make way for, I believe, the main house over there. Here's the barn where a lot of activities go on, like music and concerts and dance. And last year we had a tremendous monarch season, and there is a remnant of a monarch chrysalis from when it changed from the caterpillar to the butterfly. They go through complete metamorphosis, remember. They start off as eggs on the milkweed. We'll go and check the milkweed. But there is the chrysalis shell that was left when the caterpillar formed a pupa, which is actually the second to the last exoskeleton that the insect had. Its last exoskeleton is the one that it has right now on his way back. Oh, excuse me, not on his way back from Mexico. He started, or she started her way back from Mexico, but didn't make it only as far as maybe northern Mexico or Texas, where she laid eggs, and her children would be heading for New York, but they won't get to New York. They'll get to the mid-Atlantic states or so, where they will die, but before they die, they lay their eggs, and that generation will return here to New York. So this guy in here, its great-grandchildren will be the ones that return back to Mexico. So there's some exoskeletons that didn't get knocked down from the winter weather. There were many monarch butterflies last year, and they did very well in the milkweed, which is just starting to grow off over there. We'll get a closer look at the milkweed in a moment. The monarchs are not yet back as far as I know. I've not seen any monarchs. Oh, just saw a barn swallow. You know, that's a tree swallow, but I think I saw a barn swallow. And who is on top of the building? Over there we have crows. And that's a barn swallow. Or excuse me, a tree swallow there. The tree swallows like to use the nest boxes, which are, we have some nest boxes over here. And there's some nest boxes off in the distance there. And to birds like the barn swallows and the eastern bluebird, those nest boxes are basically holes in a tree. They're what we call cavity nesters. And under normal situations, they would make a nest inside a hole in a tree that they'd find. But because of our forest management practices and changes in agricultural technology and things like that, there aren't as many holes for these guys to use. And so when we make nest boxes, we're providing a habitat that's a piece of the habitat that's missing for them. In terms of ecology, that's called the limiting factor, where birds like the eastern bluebird began to disappear because they had no place to nest. But now with nest boxes all around, the eastern bluebird is a very common bird to find. There's a robin singing off on the top of the trees off to the left. So, see over in here. Let's go and check the milkweeds. This is a bit early for the times I'm here. Usually I'm not here with the grandparents or NYSADA, the New York State Art Teachers Association, until into July, the first weeks of July. So right away, the milkweeds have yet to come forward over in here. And who is over in here? It's a red-eyed vireo. What are the chances I can get a close look for you guys of this red-eyed vireo? Slim, because it's just moved further into the spruce tree there. So here is the favored plant. Keep going back to picture when I touch the screen. There it goes. Milkweed is the favored plant for monarchs. Matter of fact, it's pretty much the only plant that the females will lay their eggs on and the young will feed upon. They eat the leaves. Of course, they're home for a lot of other things. Ooh, here's some frass already. That's what the insect droppings on the leaf right there. And that's often a sign of monarch activity. Let me see if I can find. I don't see where anything's been chewed on. Maybe another insect left that behind. There's a ladybug, actually the ladybird beetle. Ladybird beetles are predators feeding upon aphids, and there will be aphids around. Matter of fact, that's what that little whitish stuff in there are. Those are aphids. So we have a predator-prey situation here. That ladybird beetle is likely feeding on those aphids there. Come on, focus. There, that ladybird beetle. Most of these beetles, I believe, are non-native beetles. The New York State ladybird beetle is fairly unusual to find, unfortunately. Well, a variety of birds, evidence of the monarchs from last year. This year's milkweed crop just beginning. The wind is starting to pick up. So before I sign off on our short visit here at the Great Camp Sagamore, let's review which bird species we found. Well, let's go through our whole bio inventory of animal life. We saw, starting with bugs, we had the ladybird beetles, the evidence of the monarchs, the ant nests, on to we do have some action over in here. Let's go, for our ending, let's go over to that tree swallow nest. One of the boxes has tree swallow activity in it. By the time the Grants program would be starting up in July, if things were normal, the tree swallows would probably be finished with their nesting. So I see some tree swallow action in the left-hand box up over in here. Let's see what we can find. One of the favorite areas here with arts and crafts would be looking for snakes over in here. So over in here, oh, we have two robins two male robins that we're having a little bit of a disagreement as to who belongs in this territory. One male robin has flown off a bit. You can tell the male from the females because the males have a darker black head, almost totally black. And right there is the tree swallow. Let's see if I can settle down my... And yep, they're active in the box on the left. Just flew out of it. So we'll stop here for a little bit and watch as there's some activity in the nest box. Let me zoom back out because there's one. Can't tell the male from the female. Tree swallows as far. So there's one on that box on the right, but they're nesting in the box on the left. So we had a snowshoe hare, a variety of insects for our birds, American robin, red-eyed vireo, blue-headed vireo, tree swallow, chimney swift, American crow, and chipping sparrow is our list for today. And it looks like the tree swallows have settled down. They might not even have babies yet. They might be still just starting to incubate their eggs, or the babies are just about ready to hatch. So with that, I'd like to say so long. Thanks for coming along, and I look forward to maybe seeing you for real walking and along the trails here looking for all the kinds of birds and animal life here at the Great Camp Sagamore.